In this example, I'm going to go ahead and show a new feature to Carlson 2017 CADNet module, the pipe connector feature. This command allows you to draw a pipe between two connections and output it to a BIM. In this case, it actually outputs it as an IFC file, which a lot of BIM packages will easily be able to import. Something like this would be beneficial if you imported a plan via a PDF or other method, such as a raster file, and you now want to quickly and easily create some pipe geometry. In this basic example, I've already digitized two flanges, one here on the left and one on the right. So to do that, I went to digitize and I clicked on point, and then I generated these points best I could around the flange of my drawing. And I've done it for both sides. I've also given each one an elevation because I've gone to my elevation diagram and I know that between this flange and this flange there's an elevation difference of 2 meters. So you can see here I've set it at 650, 652. So this pipe is actually an S-type. So if we were looking at it, I'm just going to draw a quick little diagram. If we were looking at it side on, it'd come up like that, then go across, and then in again. So that's the type that's coming out of this one into this one, which we'll see later when I do a 3D view of this. So now we're going to go to BIM, pipe connector, and it brings up the pipe connector dialog. And so to start with, we're going to have this set flange 1, which is going to be this one on the left, and choose those 4 points. You can click enter or right click to confirm. Now we're going to set flange 2, it's over here. Again, enter or right click to confirm. And you can see that the X, Y and Z positions have been generated as the center of the best fit of these 4 points on each side. You can then also see that flange 1, the direction, so it's 1, so therefore it's coming out of these points. And this is -1, so it's going into these points here. With the elbow radius, you can set that to the correct value. I know mine are at 0.6, so I'm going to leave it at that. It's interesting to note, if I try and set that to anything outside the tolerances that are set by the program, it'll default to the highest value. So obviously I can't do negative values, it's going to go to the minimum of 0.2, so I can't set it to 0.1. I'm going to set that back to 0.6. I'll have 0.6 on both elbows. My pipe diameter, 0.2, and I know my thickness is 0.01, so it's a 10 mil thick pipe. I've then also gone here and output my IFC path. I can click on select and it's sitting there. I'll just go ahead and save. And now the important thing to note is that these values are working. There's a lot of calculations that are going on in the background. So if you try and enter in, as I showed earlier, if you try and enter in values that it cannot compute, it will go back and tell you so. So for example, if I set that to -1 and that to -1, obviously it throws an error. And so if you see -1 values here, you know that the calculations are incorrect, so you have to revisit them. So again, I'm going to change that back to 1. And you'll see it defaults back to its lowest values possible. So I'm going to set that to 0.6 again. 0.6 as well. I'm happy with all that. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit OK. It's now running the calculations and it's drawn my pipe and my 2 flanges. Obviously you can see it's a best fit. You can see there my circle, so there's my outside and internal pipe diameter. The easiest way and probably the best way to view this is to go to View, and we'll go to the 3D viewer, Drawing. I'm going to select all this data. And I can zoom in. Just make that a little bit bigger. And there's my pipe. You can see my flanges with the points. So they're my 4 points that I told it where it was for the top of the flange. And that's it. And so there's the S shape that I was talking about earlier. And so it's as easy as that. And so now I have the file generated here. My IFC file is in the folder where I've nominated. Thanks for watching the video. If you have any further questions or queries, please visit our support page at carlsonsw.com/support. where you can find all the latest videos and webinars, access our knowledge base articles, download the latest versions of the software, and request demonstrations for other Carlson products.